Hello, 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 courageous school leaders. Dr. Dania here. So I wanted to lift up something really quickly. I'm not going to stay on long tonight because we are preparing for the rebranding of the live series. Thank you so much to all of the people who have participated in taking the poll and giving me their opinion on what the title of the brand of the new live series should be. There's a whole lot of things that are in store for you. I'm really excited for me to share with you the things that have been happening behind the scenes. So look forward to that information coming soon, like the behind the scenes things and how I'm getting prepared for it. But you are going to absolutely love the rebranding of the live series. So thanks again for participating. I wanted to hop on really quick today to share two things with you. One, I want to share this concept of a school-wide leadership team and an instructional leadership team. Okay, because I've been dealing with some school leaders who are not using them to like maximizing how they can use both of these teams. So your school-wide leadership team, right? I'm not going to spell it all out, but I'm going to put SWLT. That's your school-wide leadership team. And this is your instructional leadership team, right? Two different teams. Some of them may be on both teams. Whoever's on your instructional leadership team should definitely be on your school-wide leadership team, okay? So these people should definitely be on this team. Your school-wide leadership team, right? The purpose of your school-wide leadership team is to have broad oversight over the things that are happening in your school building, right? Like operations, culture, safety, facilities, policies, having input on those things. Now, remember, in your school-wide leadership team, you have representative from every grade level or content area, depending on what level of school you're at, right? The school-wide leadership team also focuses on creating and maintaining an inclusive, supportive environment, right? So they have responsibilities for ensuring that the environment feels and is inclusive, right? Inclusive and supportive. Excuse my chicken scratch. And then, like I said, it's representative of all the stakeholders, right? It represents all stakeholders. I'm going to hyphenate here because I'm going over into the other column, right? It's represent all the stakeholders, including counselors, teachers, administrative staff, and even some parents and family members. It's really important to have at least a parent and maybe even a student representative on this team as well, right? Because it's really important, especially if you're getting federal dollars, that you have all stakeholders included in the decision-making process, right? Some of their responsibilities, so that's the focus, right? Some of the responsibilities would be addressing school-wide issues, right? Like attendance, student behavior, climate and culture, things that are happening in the building. Another responsibility would be to plan and monitor strategic planning, right? So plan, monitor the strategic plan that's already been created, right? Towards the school's goals. How are we with meeting the instructional components, instructional goals that we set for ourselves as a school? How are we with the community engagement? Is it increasing? What does our wellness program look like, right? Another responsibility for the school-wide leadership team would be to ensure that there is a smooth line of communication across departments. How are the departments connected, right? So department communication. I'm just going to put calm right here, okay? Now, I'm sharing this with you because I want to show you how all of the pieces affect staff morale. How does the school-wide leadership team impact staff morale? So some of the positive aspects of the school-wide leadership team is that it promotes inclusivity, right? Everyone has a voice in the decision-making. That's what staff want. They want to be included in the decision-making process. Like they are really a part of the school. It also improves staff morale by it instills trust, right? It improves staff trust with non-instructional concerns, safety workload, right? When non-instructional concerns are taken seriously, it makes them feel like they are being heard, right? So non-instructional concerns, right, are taken seriously. Or being heard, and they also have clarity on what these non-instructional, because when you're in a classroom, honey, anything in the classroom, that's your whole world. Everything else you don't know about. So when they are actually in this meeting now as teachers and they understand all of the pieces that it takes to operate a building, they gain more respect for the work, and it establishes a connection of trust between the school leaders and the classroom staff, right? Another way that it can help improve staff morale is that it helps you create a unified voice, right? A unified vision. I'll put vision, right? So it helps to reduce feelings of disconnection between the roles, right? So that's the school-wide leadership team. Amazing group of people that can do amazing things in your building. The instructional leadership team now. The instructional leadership team, we met once a week. What's the focus and the purpose of the instructional leadership team? They are specifically focused on improving teaching and learning outcomes, period. Teaching and learning. I'm going to put T and L. That's it. And anything that impacts teaching and learning, right? Behavior, culture, right? The focus for the instructional leadership team, it's composed of all of the instructional leaders, right? Department heads, coaches, administrators, even your special ed department chair, your counselor, all of the heads, people who are not teaching in a classroom, right? They're the people when I say non-instructional, I mean they are not in a classroom. Okay, that's what I mean when I say that. Another focus and purpose for the instructional leadership team is that they work to align the curriculum and instructional strategies, right? So they work for alignment. That's what they're working towards, alignment of instruction, right? And goals and school goals. That is the focus and purpose of the instructional leadership team. Now, mind you, everything else that impacts instruction that could stop it, that's included too. So my dean, my dean of behavior, culture, and climate director, where each school I was at, they were a part of the instructional leadership team because the work of culture impacts instruction. Everything in your building impacts instruction. So you should have each person who's not teaching in a classroom a part of that meeting every single week, not once every other week, but every week. What's your instructional focus for the week? What are we all looking for in classrooms? Who did we see last week so that we don't double dip? That's a systems thing that I can talk about at a later time, but let's stay focused on what the instructional leadership team's focus is. Those are just some, okay? The responsibilities of the instructional leadership team are huge. They're the tentacles of you as the leader, right? So it is to analyze data. How the instructional leadership team has to know how to analyze data in order to support teachers in analyzing and creating interventions, right? Intervention strategies. The responsibility is to support teachers in their instruction, right? That means coaching, implementing best practices, right? A feedback loop, consistent feedback loop. The responsibilities are also to ensure that there is equity in instruction by addressing any gaps, right? By addressing any gaps that they see in teacher effectiveness or student achievement. So teacher effectiveness directly impacts student achievement. We know this. So the role of the instructional leadership team is to address any of those things. Make sure that there's an equitable approach in addressing those gaps and being really honest and supportive of teachers so that they understand that here's your teaching, here's what's resulting from your teaching, right? That is the role of the instructional leadership team, which is why it's so important to have systems in place, okay? The other piece of this now is, how does this impact staff morale? How does this impact staff morale? How does your instructional leadership team and the work that the instructional leadership team does impact staff morale? It helps to boost confidence, right? So when teachers feel that they are being really supported to improve instruction, they gain confidence as instructional, like they gain confidence in their pedagogy. It also, the instructional leadership team also impacts morale because it increases motivation, right? By celebrating teacher successes, right? So it increases motivation. By celebrating the teacher's successes and providing a clear plan and steps for growth. Clarity. That's what teachers want. That's what they need. They need clarity on next steps. And the instructional leadership team are the experts in the building to help guide teachers through that process. So when it's done effectively, it increases the teacher's motivation to do this work. Half of the challenge that I've experienced as a leader is that my teachers felt like they were doing all this work and planning and nothing, it wasn't working, which indicated for me as a leader that my instructional leadership team had to do something differently for supporting teachers in this work, right? We have a teacher shortage. We can't afford to lose anymore. So an instructional leadership team can impact staff morale by helping to increase that motivation, providing clear action steps for growth. Another way that the instructional leadership team can support staff morale is it encourages collaboration through coaching, right? It forces people to stop, to come out of their silos and to work as a team, right? So it encourages collaboration. And we all know that when we collaborate, we're better thinkers. We produce better work when we are collaborating, when we're bouncing ideas off of one another, right? So it encourages collaboration through instructional coaching and peer observation opportunities, bringing all the work to the forefront, not hiding anything, right? So this is how morale can be impacted by these two major arms in your school. If you don't have these two, the first step is to start thinking about doing it right now. You can still do it now, even in December. Okay, starting fresh in January. If you need some help, shoot me an email and we can talk about how I can support you in doing that. Because the goal here is to boost your staff morale. Okay. Speaking of boost, if you are interested, I've created a boost network for this purpose specifically. And morale is tied into everything that you do in your building, and systems being the major thing, right? Have processes and systems, which is really people when you think about it. So the Boost Network is really a network of where like-minded school leaders come together, no more than 10. It's a very small group, very intimate, and we talk about the things that we are doing, and I provide you strategies similar to this, walking you through it, talking you with one-on-one sessions, encouraging and supporting and providing feedback where and whenever you need it. So the Boost Network is a small group consulting program built specifically for school leaders like you who are unsure and feeling a little overwhelmed by the workload that is happening right now. And sometimes as leaders, we just need to have an ear and a voice. because you have the ideas in your head. You already know what to do. You already know. You just need to talk it through with people, like-minded people, so that you feel more comfortable in what you're doing. Okay? So if you're interested in the Boost Network, it is a 6-week, which is also 45 days, where we're together in a small group, communicating, sharing ideas. I'm sharing tools. I'm sharing formats, spreadsheets, things that you can use or not use, but it's there for you in case you or have a need to think about how to use it. I provide examples on how to use it, examples on what things I've used for myself that has pulled my school off the persistently dangerous. Okay. Let me know if you're interested by shooting me an email and scheduling a time to talk. I'd love to talk you through what that is. And I will see you next Monday, I believe, which would be the 16th, maybe the 18th. Might have my dates off right now. But I will see you next Monday. I believe it's the last Monday before the holiday. So I'll see you next Monday. And shoot me an email if you have any questions. I'd love to talk through any one of the topics that things that I pointed out this evening. If you'd like to dig a little deeper, let's do so. But in the meantime, I want you to keep going, and I need you to just remember that you are in the seat because you're supposed to be there. The kids in your building need you, and you're supposed to be in that seat. Have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you soon.